Yeah. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's time, man. Unc and Phew Hoops edition, brother. Let's get it, man. Let's get it, man. How you doing, Unc? How you doing,
Not bad,
Hefe the
not bad.
boss, man? Talk
Enjoying
to me.
enjoying this Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, I
Come
guess
on,
now.
now. We need it, man. We
Mhm.
need it. But you know what's crazy? We have a weekend with well, no, not a weekend. Yeah, actually, no. I'm BSing. We have a full weekend,
Mhm.
no basketball tonight, man. It's
Yep,
crazy. You know what I mean?
it is a little strange for sure.
It's a little bit different, right? But it's a sad different. You know what I mean? Because what happened was our guy, our team, low key has been the team of our team this entire, you know what I mean, few weeks that we've been doing this thing. They fell, bro. And they
Yeah,
didn't even fall a little bit. They fell hard.
they fell hard. Yeah,
They got absolutely mollywopped by the Mavs, brother. What are your thoughts, man, after that game 5 defeat, brother? And it wasn't really even competitive. At a certain point, it got like ridiculous, bro.
yeah.
What did you think of that game, or at least what do you think of what happened after, bro?
It's almost like they kind of just gave up at one point, which was a
Yep.
little disheartening to see. But um, it goes back to being for me. It goes back to being the experience, right? They'd never been there before, so it was more of a, I want to say, learning experience, just like everybody else has had. Right? We don't knock everybody else the same way. I guess maybe you know it is what it is, but it's, I don't know. It's just the experience thing for me. So we'll see next year. I don't think they
Hmm.
exploited the matchups they had, and I think maybe
No.
Edwards bit off a little bit more than he can chew, saying that he's going to cover Kyrie because you got to be in shape for that one.
Yo, I'm telling you right now. By the way, if y'all coming into the stream, man, press that like button, get in the chat, talk to us. We love when the chat is talking, when we communicating, when we're having fun out here. Uh, but I'm a second what you just said, bro. I'm a second exactly what you just said, man. You know what this reminds me of, bro?
Mm.
This reminds me of, you know, some kind of Avengers. Remember, the one before Endgame, right? Where they're all
Infinity
trying to
War,
beat,
yeah.
right? Infinity Wars, right?
Hmm.
They're all trying to beat Thanos, but you better not miss, man.
Yeah.
You do not you don't go just slightly and make him bleed a little bit. To beat Thanos, in this analogy, Thanos is Luka. I'm gonna say it's Luka. You better not miss.
Hmm.
Okay? And that's what happened. They were missing and missing and missing. When your best player is giving you 28 points, your second best player is giving you 28 points. Your guys have to give you something, bro.
Something
Your
else, yeah.
guys have to give you something. Because you know that Thanos on the other side of the court, he's going to give you a triple double, but borderline 36, 10, 5.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Kyrie, 36. He's coming in. That's sick. You have 72 points right there, bro.
That's crazy. Out of
72 buckets.
124 points, and 72 of it is two guys. Like, that's insanity. But
Half the facts.
yeah,
If you are coming at them, you better come so correct because they're giving you 72 points, half of the team's points, and they're helping out on a rebounding.
mhm,
You know what I mean? So you cannot come soft, bro.
no,
And that's why there was this crazy record that whenever a team goes up 3-0, it's like 150 something to 0 times that they've lost
that they've
a
lost here.
series. Like it's never happened in the
Mhm,
history of basketball that a team is up 3-0 and they lose the series.
mhm,
It's lit
mhm.
math. It's never happened. And the closest thing to that was the 3-1 that we saw with the GOAT, LeBron
With your boy
James,
LeBron,
my boy. We need my boy Shadow to get in the chat, man. We need the
yeah.
LeBron stands to pull up. But that's the closest we've ever gotten to a comeback from
Mhm,
such a deficit. So as much as we're fans of Ant, we love our boy, we rock with our boy. Like you said, it's the experience factor was huge. But we can also, as much as we talk about experience, man, I want to know what are your thoughts on Luka throughout the series, man? Because Luka has really, really impressed me, and you can tell the experience factor was huge, man. What did you
Hmm.
think of Luka throughout the T Wolves series, brother?
Yeah, like you said it, man. Overall, they're very impressive. I think the only thing I didn't like personally was his complaining to the
Mhm.
refs. Like I've never liked that, and it's a big, I don't want to say it's a big stain on the league, but it's getting to the habit where, like, and this is coming from a soccer fan. Like it's getting to the habit where it's starting to be soccer level, right? Where it's just like, oh man, just play the game, man. Like, so it's that part was annoying, but you can't take anything away from him. He was just doing what
Kind
he
of like
wanted
this guy.
to. Yeah, that's a perfect example. But but it's like I don't want to say that he's soft, because he's not soft in any
No.
regard. It's just the complaining needs to stop. Like, just play the game, get your fouls. You're doing what you're doing and you're winning. So just take it to the next step. If you want to be, I don't is he ever going to be the face of the league? Maybe not, but at least you can cast your vote in there for that if you stop complaining.
Do you think that's gonna come over time because he's with Kyrie. Kyrie's like 31 years old now, and he's
Hmm.
like his OG. Do you think Kyrie's gonna mentor him or at least give some kind of guidance? Because I can't lie, Luka has played amazing. He's impressed
Hmm.
me a lot. But that complaining, the attitude he has, like it's good sometimes, like that edge. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
it's very fun to watch him talk some smack, but it can also go the other way. Like we just
hmm,
saw with Anthony Edwards.
yeah,
Ant Man. Ant Man had that energy, that bravado, you know what I mean? But it
yeah,
also came to bite him in the behind, fam.
yeah.
So it can go either way. It's a gift and a curse. Do you think that's going to improve over time? Because Luca's 25.
Yeah, I think so. Being that young, if you don't have that kind of, like you said, the bravado of it being in this league, then you're not gonna last very long in regards to being a
True.
superstar. So I think once 2-3 years down the line, he will stop that, but and then you'll get to see him, because he's still not in his prime. I don't think he's not in his prime yet.
Oh, you don't? I think he's in his prime. I got to
You
disagree. I
think
think
so?
he's in his
Yeah.
prime. I
Oh,
think keep in mind. I'm gonna pull something up. Luca actually, interestingly enough, he's been playing professional basketball since he was like 15
mm,
because he played in the
in the Euro.
Euro basketball. I think if we go scroll down a little bit,
Yeah.
I believe um, he played Euro basketball since 2016. So it's not NBA basketball,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, a
it's
little bit
still
different style of play,
yeah.
but still, like, I don't know, for this league at least, like his skills. Yeah, this is why he's cooking people, right? He has that
Mm.
basketball knowledge, but I think when it comes to the NBA prime, I think he still has a couple years to really get there, and that's a scary thought for me. So
Oh, you think he's gonna get better?
yeah,
Ooh, that is
yeah,
scary to think about, bro.
yeah, he'll be more well rounded. He'll make better decisions, and that's a scary thing to think of.
One thing we have agreed, and I go want the chat to say something about this. By the way, like the stream, man. We got 6 people in there. We having fun on this Sunday night. I hope y'all are vibing with us. We're rocking with it. Somebody who doesn't have that killer is this dude, man. We
Hmm.
talked about it. We have themes on this pod that we talk about, and we've talked about this dude. He doesn't have that killer instinct, but something about Tatum and his squad has showed me like this is crazy, fam. A crazy stuff for me to bring up. They went 12 and I think 2 throughout their playoff run, brother.
Yeah,
12 and 2 throughout these playoffs. So they dominated all the teams they went through. Obviously, we talked about them cleaning the Pacers. Obviously, we talked about, the Knicks getting absolutely torched, burned by them. We didn't touch on Miami because we weren't doing the podcast about it, but
yeah,
I watched all those Miami games. I had to shut it off in the third quarter because they're getting blasted. I'm like, yo, this is unwatchable basketball.
yeah,
It's unwatchable. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure.
And then there's been a narrative coming out that they had a cakewalk to the finals. What are your thoughts,
Hmm.
family? on the potential, or at least the narrative, that the Celtics, Tatum, and them had a cakewalk to the finals, man. What do you think, man?
Nah, like it's funny because it's been brought that's been brought up before
Mm,
with your boy LeBron being like, oh, LeBron's finals runs have always been cakewalks, and
ah,
regardless, they're not. The teams that are there in the playoffs are there for a reason, and
mhm,
if he's dominated them, then he's dominated them, right? The Celtics have dominated the teams because of their play as a team.
yeah,
They haven't like Tatum hasn't been outrageously scoring 40 points a game, anything like
no,
that, right? So they're just well rounded, and I think that it goes to show you that I know Miami is your team, but like once you lose your main superstar, where did Miami go? They faded. They're gone. You know, same thing with Cleveland.
Mitchell was out and
Mitchell
Jared
was out.
Allen was out. But by the
Mhm.
way, shout out to Sleepy Euphoria for coming in, man. Respect. I hope you press that like button, bro. I know you in real life, man. I'm gonna harass you if you don't harass that like button. Let's go. Go, go ahead, fam.
Yeah, no, and that's cakewalks. It's just something that people say that don't know basketball, never played basketball or anything like that. So for me,
Mhm,
even LeBron's finals weren't cakewalks to me. So that
mhm.
you can record that because I know everybody's going to use that against me. But but it's they're just the better
Good goal.
teams. Yeah, they're just the better teams, and it shows.
Mhm.
What would have happened if LeBron got hurt during those runs? Would they have beat the other teams? I don't
Absolutely
know,
not.
maybe, but probably not, right? So everybody talks about how he's the impact player on the team that he plays on. If he were to got hurt, like Jimmy got hurt, they probably wouldn't have made it
Mm,
past the second rounds or so.
no.
But yeah, cakewalks aren't a thing. They're just a better team overall. That's all.
I do agree with you, man. That I find it's so disrespectful to say that a team cakewalked, really. But like, okay, now here's an argument that I heard about cakewalking. A lot of the Warriors dynasty, they had a lot of injuries towards a lot of superstars that affected that dynasty. So I'll give you
Mhm.
an example. This dude here, who I think could have stopped the dynasty.
Kawhi, is that who you put in? Oh,
This one
oh,
and Kawhi. I
I
think
thought you were
this
gonna pull
one
out
and
Kawhi.
Kawhi. Both actually. A lot of the times, whenever the Clippers were getting the edge on the Warriors,
Hmm.
this dude tended to get injured a lot in the
Hmm.
playoffs. And I think that's that wear and tear happens naturally
Yeah,
when you're playing ball, you're playing high, highly
high
athletic
level. Yeah.
sport like that. You know what I mean? You're gonna get hurt and that sabotage them. But obviously, like you said, even a second goal. Could we talk about the Warriors dynasty if this dude didn't hurt his knee or get injured all the time? If this dude was healthy during those Warriors runs, do the Warriors have four rings? Do they even have their first ring?
The first ring. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Looking back at those games, you see, there's that argument that the Warriors were out to injure the star player of the other team, right? So how factual
Tell
that
them.
is, it looks it looks factual when you look at all the clips and everything like that. So the tapes, but
Mm.
yeah, no, I like this guy was a different breed back then. So I think he could have stopped them if he remained healthy for sure. I've never been a huge Chris Paul fan, but he
Oh,
is he is a leader.
yeah.
Like I have to give you that he is a leader. He knows how to run the team, run the offense. But I I don't know. For me, it would have been him for sure if he would have stayed healthy. Then the Warriors wouldn't have been the dynasty that everybody says they are.
Bro, this dude Kawhi with the Spurs, MVP level.
Hmm.
The things he was doing. By the way, shout out to Sleepy Euphoria. We haven't given our picks yet. You have to stay till the end of the show, man. We have to tease you, man. We have to treat this like so. We got to do some foreplay, man. You
Yeah.
can't just get straight to it, man. Come on. Shout out to Kai in the chat, Kyle in the chat. By the way, appreciate you for coming and tuning in with us. But you're absolutely right. That Spurs dynasty with Kawhi at the helm, Tim Duncan basically retiring or done, Tony Parker's out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Ginobili on his last legs.
Thanks.
They had a squad. I think one year they went like 67 and
Yeah.
like 14, some insane stat like that. And then this dude, who I personally feel this is an old school player, man. Remember, like back in the day, you had like enforcers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know in hockey they had enforcers. In ball, I don't know if they really had like maybe you could argue there
In,
was enforcers.
in the 80s, yeah, there were the enforcers.
So,
Like usually it would have been your power forward, um, right? The giants
mm.
that weren't necessarily tall, but they were solid. Yeah, this guy shouldn't
This
even
guy
have been
was
in the
sent
league.
out, bro. This guy was sent out. You know, he
Yeah,
got the call. He got the call, bro. Take Kawhi out. What do you think,
yeah.
brother?
Oh, 100%. Like this guy just they gave him a contract just to be, you know, oh, make it look like it's an accident. Like even on when they were playing OKC when Russ was still there,
Yeah.
you could just like,
Yeah.
come on, man. You know, he was Draymond before Draymond was Draymond. So right, so it's not a nice thing to see. It's kind of like what's happening in the NBA right or WNBA, sorry, with Caitlin Clark. Everybody's just out to get
Yes.
her. I'm like, what are you guys mad? She's bringing attention to your league, but yeah, this guy's just
Thank
out there
you.
to hurt people. So
But that's this not even on our topic list. But let's talk about this though. We gotta talk about this shorty who went on Caitlin Clark, and we don't really talk about female basketball hoops that
mhm.
much, but we gotta talk about this. It's a huge basketball topic.
Yeah,
What did you think of that, man? That was like, whoa, that was wild, fam.
yeah, that was just not just unnecessary, but just out of pocket for sure. Apparently,
Yeah.
something happened earlier in the play on the other side of the court where Caitlin turned around and said something to her. But I'm like,
Mm,
it's one thing to trash talk; it's another thing to be like blindside somebody, right? And
yes.
if you see the clip, Angel Reese stood up like that could really hurt somebody in regards to being blindsided. Like if she would have put any more effort into that, you
Yeah.
could have injured a shoulder, neck, anything like that. But um, yeah, I don't know. In the clip, Angel Reese stands up and starts clapping, like, good job. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, yeah.
Come on,
Hmm.
man. This is a football play, man. And
Oh,
shout out to my boy Sleepy, man. Me and him played ball together. We played
yeah.
football together. We know it's a football play,
Yeah.
man. That's a
Yeah.
blindside hit. That's like borderline. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? You can mess that girl up. And this girl, Caitlin Clark, is the reason y'all have chartered flights, man.
Yes,
She's
exactly.
bringing so much revenue to your league, fam. And I'm like, I'm not saying y'all should protect her. Of course,
Hmm.
play your game. Of course, play her like you're playing everybody. But I have a feeling like there's like a natural hatred or bias against her.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, there's been some comments out there saying that she's only getting the attention because she's like a straight white female, and like, just I'm like, really, that's crazy. Like, why the hate, right? But like, look at what Sleepy says in the chat. He's like, the teammate
Yeah.
didn't have her back. I'm like, exactly. Like the first thing is you dart to that person.
Fantastic point.
So yeah, like it's almost like her
Fantastic
teammates are
point.
in it. But that's the conspiracy theory there.
Whoa, we're going conspiracy time. You know me, man. I love my conspiracies, dog.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
tinfoil hat gang. You know what I mean? I watch Alex Jones. I don't care. But you know what I mean? I will say this. That is a great comment, though. I'm gonna highlight Sleepy again.
Yeah.
If that happened to my boy, let's say we're playing ball outside. Who cares? You know what I mean? Pickup game. And somebody checks you like that or does anything to Hefe like that, I'm gonna go in his face too, man.
Hmm.
I'm going in that dude's face.
First thing you do
Like,
usually.
you go in his face, like you go in his grill. Like, what would you do that to my boy? You know what I mean?
100.
And this is not a pickup game. This is professional basketball, regardless of gender. Professional basketball. You should look out for your teammate. And not only your teammate, the woman who's going to help you guys get a better TV watching deals,
Hmm.
increase the revenue of the league because the WNBA makes barely any money. They're always in a deficit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I think this year they might turn a profit. And it's because of this girl.
Yeah.
You have to protect the money bags. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that's
Exactly.
so. You know what? The player. Let me get her name again. The one who did that. she's actually doubling down on it. I think she got fined by the WNBA,
Yeah,
but she's doubling down on it, and she didn't even want to take any questionings after.
yeah. I saw
She's
that.
just
Yeah,
doubling down. She's doubling down on it, and I'm like, that's kind of wild.
yeah,
Do you think this is gonna happen more and more? Because this is, I think, Caitlin Clark's ninth game, a 10th game. They have
yeah.
about a 30 game season. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I think so. Unless the refs, or the league itself puts in something in place, but at the same time, is that going to attract more target on her back? Well, you made the league change rules for you, blah blah blah. Like we've heard that
Mm,
in the NBA, superstars going and talking to the league, whatever. But
yeah,
yeah, like you said, this girl is bringing in money to benefit the entire league, not just herself. So
right.
why wouldn't you welcome that instead of bringing the animosity towards it? It's crazy to me.
I made this comparison a few months ago on just some of my videos. By the way, shout out to Sleepy again. Protect the stars.
Mhm.
Sleepy, but better get like some kind of MVP trophy. He's chatting up. I respect that, bro. Keep it up, fam. This reminds me of this dynamic, man.
Hmm.
If you look at Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, or at least what it was, I made this parallel, and I'm not the first one. Obviously, people have made this comparison too. The league in the '80s was struggling. They
Hmm.
weren't getting a lot of people watching. They were actually about to fold, not fold, but they were always in deficits
Deficit. Yeah.
until Magic and Larry Bird got drafted, and they battled throughout the '80s to for the best player.
Yeah.
So, the league actually actively promoted Larry and Magic. They didn't go against them. Of course, other players, other teams battled, Detroit Pistons,
Hmm.
Sixers, but these dudes was the money makers. They're the ones before Jordan that made the league watchable and
Watchable.
entertaining.
Yeah. Hmm.
You know what I
100%.
mean?
Yeah.
What are your
Exactly.
thoughts, fam?
No, that's exactly what it is, right? Like Angel Reese was at second in the draft for WNBA. So
I think
instead
she
of
was she was number nine
oh,
or
were they?
10, but
Oh,
still
that's
she was high. She was
yeah,
pretty. She was up there.
crazy.
Yeah, she was one
Yeah,
of the.
I
Yeah.
didn't watch it unfortunately, but it is what it is.
All
But
good, all good, all good.
um, but if
Yeah.
she's gonna be compared to or in the same conversation as Caitlin Clark, like why
Mm,
not embrace that, regardless of race or anything like that? Just embrace the fact that you guys are bringing attention to the league now, right?
yes.
And this is
No.
what's going to benefit you guys in the long run. It may not benefit them right away, but it'll benefit the next generation of players and all that stuff. Like, I don't know, it's crazy to me, but
Yeah,
it
man.
is what it is.
So
But
it's a wild time.
mhm,
Just my thinking is, man, I just feel weird, man. If somebody's really bucking up on my boy like that, my teammate, it's gonna be a problem, man.
yeah,
Like it's gonna be like it's a
straight,
problem, bro. Like I don't.
straightforward. Yeah, yeah,
Come on, man. That's like
100%.
crazy.
And
But
we're talking pickup games, right?
pick up.
We're not even talking pro sports. Like, forget that. If I'm getting paid and my superstar is getting hurt, you best believe I'm throwing hands with whoever. I don't care.
Come on now. We have to
Yeah.
be better than that. But you know who's really I think is gonna throw. I think you know what I think these two dudes are gonna throw hands. I have a feeling. But
Hmm.
before we give y'all our predictions, because we're gonna give you our predictions at the end. A narrative I want to really focus on is the fact that Kyrie is facing his old team
Yeah.
in the finals, and this is a team that he had a horrible ending with. He said he was gonna sign back with him. Went to Brooklyn. He was there when Tatum was a bit younger. He was there when Brown was younger.
Yeah.
He was there. He was part of that little crew that were doing things. I have a feeling it's gonna get physical, it's gonna get personal, and it's gonna get disrespectful. What do you think of Kyrie coming back to Boston after one of the messiest exits I can think of modern times, bro?
Yeah. No, 100%. Like, that's you see all the tapes and clips and all that stuff of him and just the fans, let alone the players, because they have their
Yes.
relationships and stuff, but the fans in
Hmm.
general dislike him to the point where like they're gonna have to have like a canopy on the entrance or something so people can't throw things at them. But it's gonna be intense. Hopefully the players have matured a bit and they can keep it the trash talking on the court and stuff like that, and give us a
Right.
good finals that we haven't had in a while. But yeah, it's gonna be something different. It's been a while since somebody's been hated that much returning to a team.
Hated.
Like
Hated.
wow.
You know what? I'm gonna do a comparison, man. I'm gonna do a comparison, and I'm gonna see if this is true. Cause you watch '90s basketball, you
Mhm.
know it way better than me. You know what I mean? You're the Hefe, you Unc, you be knowing. Was this dude hated as much as Kyrie is hated in Boston? Because Boston people hate Kyrie,
Yeah.
but I heard this guy was hated a lot, Reggie
In New York, he was hated in New York a
Miller.
lot, but at the same time, they respected him for his abilities. Right, he did send them home a few times in the playoffs, but at this, it's he did it with playing. He showed it on the court. He kept it on the court. He never really talked back in the press or anything like that. Um, in the heat of the moment when you're playing a game, of course, if you don't have any passion, you shouldn't be a pro player. But um,
Mm-hmm.
no, but I think Kyrie's on a separate level, especially because of social media. It's easy to access
Yes.
access his little things that he does, and cameras are always on. Back then, cameras were you have the play camera, but you didn't have people recording 10,000 people recording you every move. So yeah, but no, Reggie was hated, and he was hated in Chicago and New York. But New York,
Oh, snap.
100%. Yeah,
Wow.
New
But
York was.
that go ahead, fam. Sorry.
Mm. No, just saying, like in New York, even when he goes back to New York, he sometimes says that he hears booze when he's commentating and stuff. But it's just funny for him.
What?
So yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So they took it back all the way from the '90s. They still on his ass.
yeah. That's New York for you.
It's crazy, man. I find because this age is different.
Hmm.
You're absolutely right. That's not the '90s. We're in 2024, right? When you have sports commentators beefing with you, the face of ESPN, man,
Yeah.
the face of an entire sports network has personal issues with you. I think the beef is different because you also mentioned social media, right? Of
Hmm.
course, social media is a huge factor.
Yeah.
And I feel for some of these stars now, they have to like drown out the noise. You feel me?
Hmm.
But when the noise is so loud, literally Stephen A. Smith loud as an MFer, do you think these things affect the athletes now, or do you think it's going to come in a factor for Kyrie? Because Kyrie had to battle a lot of different people, a lot of different narratives. Like people really didn't like this dude. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Even when he went to Dallas, it was a bit surprising, but it
Very
seemed like
much.
he wasn't really appreciated. Do you think that's going to factor with his mentality? Will he go harder? Because when Anthony Edwards said, "Yo, I'm gonna guard him," I feel like Kyrie flipped the switch and said, "I'm going beast mode." And you saw it in his play.
Hmm.
He was cooking at. He was going crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think that some of the bad media press or some of the anger might motivate Kyrie to go harder, or do you think he might sink under these situations, man?
No, like over the season, Kyrie has impressed me. Like I said before, I've never been a Kyrie fan. I
Mm,
just find his style of play is too one on one type of thing. But
yeah,
this season, he's really impressed me with his maturity. Like when he left Boston, even when he was in, I think Boston, he had a couple of issues with the fans. But I think now
yeah,
he's
yeah.
at that point in his life where he's more mature. He can take that noise, block it out, and then focus on the game. So I think we're going to see some even greater things this finals. So
Ooh,
yeah, so we'll see. It's good. It's good fuel for sure. Look at the real goat when he takes things personal. He
yeah,
he comes out and he scores 50 on you, 60 on you. So
yeah.
not that I'm comparing Kyrie to him, but yeah, I think Kyrie will surprise a lot of people. And Stephen A. and all these analysts, like they flip flop back and forth. Like one day they'll praise him, next day they'll be like all over him. It's like, come on, like they're just getting clicks and getting attention themselves. So I think
It's a
Kyrie's
fact.
Kyrie's to that point in his career now that he can block out that noise for sure.
And this is one of the craziest quotes ever. I think Kyrie should retire. I think he should announce his retirement today. One of the best basketball players in the league. You're saying he should retire
Yeah.
because of some personal decisions and some retweets?
Hmm.
What part of the game is this?
Yeah.
People get in the chat. I said, you know what? This era made me actually like Kyrie a bit more
Hmm.
because it made me respect him. Because I saw how much I hate seeing people get bullied, man.
Hmm.
And some things in the media have gone and bullied him and went against him so much. Okay, regardless of what you think of some of his decisions, that's his decision. That's your thoughts. It's life. But for people in the media to go so hard at him for an individual who
Hmm.
wants to play basketball, it's just so disappointing, man. People get in the chat, and you know what? We don't play the click. I don't play the click game, man. You
Hmm.
know, when I'm doing content, I just try to be authentic and keep it real. I'm not out here acting and creating
Exactly.
narratives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
Like that's so radish, you know?
Mm.
Yeah, man.
Stephen A. is right.
That's accurate.
He's not wrong. He's
But
not
so
wrong.
here's something that I really want to touch on is the legacy conversation, bro. The legacy conversation.
Hmm.
And don't worry, audience, we're gonna get close to that, to our prediction that's coming. Okay. By the way, like the stream, we appreciate y'all for coming in here. Legacy conversation. Both of these dudes are 25 years old. I think Luka is a bit older.
Hmm.
Um, Luka has been balling out of his mind. You said a second ago that he's not in his prime yet. You think he has even a higher level to go, which is scary. I think he's in his early prime, if not in his prime directly. I'm just basing this off him playing in Euro basketball for a few years.
Hmm.
Whose legacy will be more affected? Like who becomes bigger or worse after this finals? What do you think? I think it's going to be very interesting because we have to factor in the fact that Luka is Slovenian. He's not an American player.
Hmm.
Tatum is obviously an American player, but he's also plays for the Celtics, a historic franchise. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Whose legacy do you think would be most impacted from this? And chat people in the chat, get in the chat as well. Want to hear your voice too. What do you think, fam?
It's like you said, like Luca's not an American, so I think that boasts
Mm,
better for him because he doesn't necessarily need to listen to all the critics and stuff like that. But if Tatum doesn't win the championship this year, I think his legacy gets a little bit more destroyed
mm,
than Luca's for sure. And that alone isn't a thing. But if he doesn't show up to play every single game and they
yeah.
lose, nah, forget it. It's over. This guy's gonna get traded or something, which is a bold statement, but I'm just saying, like his legacy is gonna go down like a notch. And if Luca wins, then his legacy goes up. If Luca loses, it stays where it is. He's still a great player,
Mm,
la da da. They can blame it on Kyrie because I think that's where the narrative is gonna go. Is this? It's gonna be more
yeah.
Kyrie and Boston, Kyrie versus Boston, and him coming back to Boston. I think that's where the narrative is gonna go. But I think Luca's kind of I don't want to say safe in that regard, but even
Yeah.
if they don't win, I don't think his stature is gonna take him any big hit, as where
Mm.
Tatum's is gonna take a solid hit for sure. So
You know what's crazy, man? You go on Twitter, right? Every time that Tatum has a bad game, people roast him. Like
mhm,
he has a bad game and Boston loses, they cook him.
mhm,
And you know what? I'm agreeing with you too. If Tatum doesn't win, it's gonna look so bad because his, teammate just won the Eastern Conference player, the Larry Bird
mhm,
Eastern Conference player of the tournament of the playoffs, right?
yeah,
How is it gonna look when the quote unquote best player on the team doesn't bring that ish home? It's
mhm,
gonna look and you're right, Luca doesn't have a lot of pressure because this is first finals. Tatum has already been to the finals. And he hasn't had as much playoff success as Tatum.
mhm,
You know what I mean? Tatum, all he needs now is a ring. He's been to the finals before. He's been to the Eastern Conference Finals
Conference.
bare times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you're absolutely right, man. I actually was gonna go Luka at first, but then you got me out of it, man.
Change your mind. They change your mind. See,
You changed my mind, bro.
maybe I'll change your mind on who the real goat is. You know, never know.
Oh, nah. We all know who the real GOAT is, man. His name is LeBron Raymond James, okay? A kid from Akron, strive for greatness. And I know I'm pissing off Sleepy Euphoria because he don't think this dude is the GOAT, but this
Hmm.
is the guy.
See, I knew I liked Sleepy. I already knew it right before you
You
said
know I was gonna bring it up, man. But
that.
you know what? This is actually a perfect transition because the GOAT made the choice for coaching, and you know what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
They came out recent reports. I hate to say it, but JJ Redick is the front runner for the Lakers head coach. Obviously, because Ty Lue, I think 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, re-signed with the Clippers. He has like a 4 or 5 year deal with the Clippers locked in.
Hmm.
The two head coaching candidates were Ty Lue and JJ Redick. It's almost like a foregone conclusion right now
Yeah.
that JJ is going to be the Lakers' next head coach. I'm a LeBron guy. You guys know this. You guys already know this. Like, I don't think y'all need any more proof to know how much I love the king. No Diddy. You know, and definitely no Diddy. No Diddy, no Diddy. I love LeBron James. But I hate this move so much, brother. Hefe, talk to me, man. Unc, talk to
Hmm.
me. What are your thoughts again on this move, bro?
Nah, I'm totally agreeing with you. I don't think it was the right one. They could have gotten like an assistant coach, like um, what's his name, Sam Cassell. Sam Cassell has been
Sam
on
Cassell.
some good coaching. I
Yeah.
know he was in the running for it, but not really in the top three or whatever. But um, somebody like Sam Cassell, who's won championships. He's been was in the league for so long as an assistant coach. He has experience. Like, what experience does JJ have to coach a professional franchise like the Lakers? Like, regardless of what he wants to say, I think LeBron had a massive say in this. But at the same point, it might be a safe bet for LeBron because if any expectations aren't met, guess you can he can just pass the buck to JJ or inexperienced coaching, this and this. So I don't want to keep hounding LeBron over that, but I think he sees an opportunity where he won't get blamed for something, and
Yeah.
this is the best move for him to continue his legacy in the way he wants to be remembered. So, but JJ, yeah, JJ, I don't think he has any real business coaching. But hey, I could be wrong. He's the next Jason Kidd. You never know.
Like, bro, it's so disappointing because I'm like, LeBron, you're in your final years, right?
Yeah.
Of course you have power. Of course you have all these things you can flex. You're gonna get your franchise to draft your son, right?
Hmm.
Isn't that enough? Do you have to hand cherry pick a guy who you do a podcast? Bro, I do a podcast with you, Hefe, right? But like, bro, we're dope podcast homies.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? We're dope homies in real life. But like yo, like, come
It,
on,
it doesn't make
man.
sense. It's not like you're gonna pick me to play football. Like I
Yeah,
couldn't tell you what the name of any routes. Like I would get demolished in Madden all the time. That's why I never played it anymore. But like
you know what I
you
mean?
know what I mean.
You know what I mean?
So
It's like
I
being
hear
a
what you're
friend,
saying. I
man.
hear what you're saying.
It's like being loyal to your boy. Of course, be loyal to your boys. You know what I mean? Of course, hold
Hmm.
down your team, hold down your gang. But at a certain point, man, how is it gonna look that you hired your boy, your podcast buddy, to be your coach? At that point, LeBron is the coach.
Hmm.
And we talked about this, I think, a few weeks ago about the player coach idea.
Yeah.
F it. Just be the coach. Be a player coach. Just
Hmm.
take the band-aid off. Because if you want to imagine JJ is in the huddle and he calls something, everybody's gonna assume that it's LeBron who called it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're all gonna look at LeBron to make sure that's the right play. And what is he gonna do? Nod his head? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's come on. It's just a safe move, I guess. But could they get him? What I don't even know what his salary when they decide to choose him. I don't even know what his salary is going to look like. Is it going to be? worthy of a head coach of a franchise like the Lakers, or is it going to be a new first year coach? Either way, he's making
Yeah,
bank. So
man.
yeah.
Like, bro, you know how toxic that is to a locker room, fam?
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
imagine the chemistry of the players. They're all gonna just side eye LeBron. Like, okay, of course you're gonna have your way because your boy is coaching us.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Like
But
I don't know.
go
Think
ahead.
of it like who's gonna want to play with the Lakers now, knowing full well that okay, you have to listen to what LeBron's saying. Even like I
Yeah.
don't know, there's some points in the season where I thought AD was a little bit like, "Ah, I'm getting tired of this is LeBron's team, but it's supposed to be my team type of thing." But
Hmm.
I don't know. Well, it is what it is, but we'll see what the outcome is next year, and if they even end up going with him. I know he's the leading man, but you never know. Maybe LeBron says, "You know what? I'll do the player coach thing." So we'll see.
Like, unfortunately, I looked it up, but the collective bargaining agreement with the NBA, they can't technically do that. They can't
Mm,
have a player coach. But like, I just don't like it, man. And you know why Ty Lue was so good for LeBron? Because Ty Lue would go at LeBron and challenge
mhm.
him. Eric Spoelstra did the same thing too. And LeBron at a certain point wanted Eric Spoelstra fired, but then
Yeah.
Pat Riley, who's a genius, said, "No, we're
No.
not firing Eric
Mhm,
Spoelstra." And LeBron dipped to Cleveland. That was like the backstory, the rumor backstory.
mhm,
But ultimately, right? If you have a good coach will challenge your superstars, will change your superstars. And this is a fantastic coach right here, man.
mhm.
This dude right here. And you touched on it, brother. Who, you know what? If we be positive, let's say JJ turns into this because it's possible.
Yeah.
But I personally believe Jason Kidd did such a great job, especially, coaching the Mavs to beat the Timberwolves, who were coming in fire hot.
Yeah.
Had great lineups, great game planning. What do you think of, Mr. Jason Kidd coaching in his first finals? And here's something very interesting. Jason Kidd, the last time the Mavs were in the finals,
It was with him at
Jason
the
Kidd
point guard.
was a player,
Mhm.
and they won. They won that year
Yeah.
with Dirk. What do you think, brother? What do you
Oh,
think
who,
of
who
Jason?
did they beat there? I can't remember who they
They
beat.
beat the Cavs. They beat the
They beat the
Cavs.
Cavs. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
that
they
the
no, they
the
beat
epic?
Miami. Sorry, my bad. They beat Miami, the Heat first year. The first year
Mhm.
with LeBron, Bosh, and Wade. They beat yeah, they beat the Miami Heat. Yep.
Oh, was that
That
when
was
Jason Terry outscored LeBron? I think I can't remember the
I
details on it, but
knew it. I knew you was gonna talk that ish, man. I should have he did
now,
though. You're right.
yeah,
LeBron's
no.
worst playoff, yes, but
But that's the thing. Jason Kidd has the experience. He's been there as a player, so he knows, what goes in that atmosphere, what he can say to the players in the locker room because he was a leader of that team when he was the point guard. So that mind of his is amazing because, like you said, he can wrangle in the superstar egos and get
yes.
them to understand and buy into his coaching style, his plays, and it's worked out phenomenal for him. So I don't see it changing in the finals. I think he'll still do that, his coaching, and show Luka and Kyrie and have them playing outrageously good like they have been all season and all playoffs.
One thing that I really want to salute the Mavs that we don't talk about too much is defensively, they're very good, man.
Hmm.
They get a lot of stops, a lot of turnovers, and I give Kid a lot of credit for getting Luka to play a little more both ways.
Hmm.
Because Luka, if you compare his previous playoff runs, dude did not care about defense. But I've
No,
seen him hustle a lot more. I'm like, dude did not give a damn about
no.
defense. But now he seems more locked into it, and I'm
Hmm.
like, that's what the Mavs need because they're gonna face Boston, and Boston's gonna shoot a lot of threes,
Yeah,
and they're gonna make a lot of threes,
yeah.
pressuring, closing out on shooters. I think Jason Kidd got them to lock in. And the interesting thing also about Jason Kidd that I looked up a little bit is if you look up his head coaching record, dude has been fired. Actually, he got out of there in Brooklyn. They
Brooklyn.
fired. They
Yeah.
got rid of him. They got rid of him
Awesome.
in Milwaukee, and he's now on his third stop.
Hmm.
maybe getting a
Yeah,
ring after how many years of experience? You know
lost
what
in
I
the
mean?
what is he? Lost in the conference semifinals with Brooklyn, lost in the
Mm,
final first round, missed playoffs, lost in the round with Milwaukee. But those were the years that Greek Freak was still developing. So um,
yeah.
maybe he didn't have that superstar. Now he has two. So it
Well,
really shows what kind of coach he is. So yeah, and we'll see. It's exciting. It's this finals is actually exciting to watch.
very, very exciting. And this goes back to what we were talking about throughout the podcast, fam. That experience.
Hmm.
That's why I don't like Jason. I don't like JJ Redick going to the Lakers.
Hmm.
You're dealing with an aging or the best player of all time who's about to leave the sport. You're dealing with AD, who's the leader of the team. He's the best player on the team. You know, AD is clearly the best player on the team, and you're a first year coach. The
Yeah,
Lakers should be competing for championships, not dealing with a first year. See, Jason Kidd got fired multiple times.
yeah,
I mean, he's missed playoffs multiple times. He's been through the ups and downs, and that's why now he's in the finals. He's not no Doc Rivers who had like one or two great seasons and then been a flop.
ever
He's
since. Yeah.
been, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I hate the JJ Redick move, but I am so proud of my boy Jason Kidd, who, you know what I mean? I didn't really watch him when he was balling like that. I watched the end of his career,
Hmm.
but dude, as a coach, he's really impressed me, man. Really,
Yeah.
really impressed me, brother. I
Like
mean,
it's funny because like growing up, he was in what the 2000s,
yep.
2000s era as a
Mm-hmm.
point guard because I played point guard for the main part
Mm-hmm.
of my basketball career. um,
Mm,
Seeing him make the right choices, make the right passes, and leading the team, it was crazy. Those days with New Jersey, where who did he have? He had Kerry Kittles, um, who's the other guy?
mm.
Ah, Kenyon
Did have
Martin,
Richard Jefferson?
Richard Jefferson. Like they were exciting to watch, right? They were
Mm,
a good, fast-paced team. Um, Kerry Kittles was, I think, injury prone, but they
yeah,
were they were a fun team, and they were a young team, and they
yes.
were fun to watch. So once Jason Kidd matured a little more, and in Dallas, I think that's where his best years were for sure. But he was an amazing point guard for sure.
Man, it's gonna be such a fantastic battle to watch the Mavs versus the Celtics, man. Because you have two narratives, two big time narratives, two big time teams, a massive showdown, and sleepy euphoria. You better get excited now because we about to give you our picks. Okay, we about to give you our picks. You better be tuning in. Yeah, I mean, I already got Sleepy's picks because we text a lot. That's my boy.
Yeah.
Um, who I'm gonna let Hefe go first, man. I'm gonna let
Ah,
the
come on.
boss go first. Or do you want me to go first? I don't know. I don't
No,
know. You
no.
feeling it? What's the spirit telling you,
It's up
doggy?
to you, brother. It's up to you. Whichever.
All right, bro. I'm gonna go with you, brother. Uh,
Yeah.
take the floor. Who do you have and why?
I'm gonna say Mavs in six.
Ooh.
Mainly, again, I'll never stop saying this, but it's the experience thing for me. I think
Mm,
Kyrie's at that level now. Like I said earlier, is his maturity level. He understands what his role is, how he can help his team, and then, like you said, Luka playing both ends of the court. Finally, you can see he's more versatile now. So their mixture is just it's crazy. Where I can see where Boston with Tatum and Brown, I I don't know. It's just something about them. Their cohesiveness isn't. It scares me when it comes to the big moments. See who's gonna step up, and that's the difference. Is that in Dallas you don't need to worry of who's gonna step up because you know one of them will,
mm.
right? If one guy's not having a good game, the other one is right there. Like this, scoring half your team's points is like butter for them. So I'm saying Mavs in six.
Mavs and six. I love it. I love it. My heart, my heart, as you all said, I want to go with Kyrie. Y'all already know I'm biased towards Kyrie. I already know. You already know my thoughts, man. I am extremely biased with Kyrie. But I have to go in my head, man. I got Boston in 7. And Boston in 7 for the simple fact is I have seen enough. You know what I mean? I have seen enough. When Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown are there, of course, as great as Luka and and Kyrie are, these dudes are not slouches either, man. And
Mhm.
with so many games that I've watched and so many, like intense battles throughout these playoffs, like we talked about the fact that there's cakewalks, obviously, right?
Mhm.
But what I've seen, especially from Jalen Brown, I'm gonna go on the Jalen Brown side. He has been phenomenal in the
Mhm.
playoffs, man. You know what I mean? And if he's not balling out, they have Derek White. If Derek White's not balling out, Drew Holiday could go off. If Drew Holiday's not balling out, it can go as deep as Al Horford. I think Al Horford had a borderline game winner. At
Mm.
least game winning plays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Dude is 37.
Yeah.
Like and you know what? The Boston Celtics have been so consistent throughout the year. It would take, I don't know. I'm a knock on wood because I don't want this to happen. I think it would take some kind of injury or some freak of nature thing for the Celtics to lose.
To lose.
So for me, I'm gonna write it down in the comments. Big stepper. Pick is Boston Celtics in 7. So what we'll do is I wrote it down in the chat so that at least we have some kind of proof, some kind of reference point
Mhm.
for people to come either at my neck or at your neck, because one of us is going to be wrong. It's
100%.
obvious.
100%.
One of us is going to be wrong.
Mhm.
But what I've seen from the Celtics, they've made me believers because they're not even just winning; they are breaking teams' mentality. Like they're breaking them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's some Ivan Drago, Rocky Four type ish, man. I will
So
break you.
yeah. Yeah, but look what happened in that. Rocky ended up
Yeah,
winning. Rocky ended up winning.
you're right. You're
Mhm.
right. You're absolutely right. Hey man, I've been wrong before, bro. I picked the Niners to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I was wrong as a mother effer. You know what I mean? I
You
lost a lot of money.
know what's funny is that that was the
Yeah.
first Super Bowl I've seen in probably about 10 years, 10, 12 years. And I
Wow.
was like, and I was, yeah, it was, I don't know. I was so upset at the fact like how bad it was officiated, or
It
how
was
bad
crazy.
I thought it was officiated. Because again, I'm no football guy. I enjoy watching it on TV with the boys and everything, but
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what play they're running or anything like that. So I don't have any
All good.
bias towards it. But it was just like, man, like some of these calls were just atrocious, and I'm like, it's almost like they're giving the ship to KC. So right, because of look at how much, again, we go into the point of being entertainment. NBA is entertainment, NFL is entertainment, but
Yes.
the amount of revenue that has been pulled in from KC because of the whole, yes, because of this, unbelievable, unbelievable. So you know what, like just imagine if KC lost, how many of
Oh
these
man.
Swifties would have been upset, right? So I can only imagine the NFL head office emails and stuff and retweets and stuff that they were getting, and how BS everything would have been if Taylor's man lost. But you know, that's a whole different story.
Don't get me started, man. I could go on a 20-minute rant on how they set things up, but I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah,
This is the
yeah.
basket. This is the hoops podcast,
Who's
bro.
fine?
This is the
All
ball podcast.
right.
I will say this. I think we're gonna have a great NBA Finals. I think that the first game is Thursday. I mean, we're always gonna do the Sunday pods.
Mhm.
We might do an emergency podcast. I don't know. Maybe sometimes if you're interested, let the chat or let the people, if you're watching the replay, get in the replay. Let us know if y'all cool with us doing. What I mean, maybe some last minute podcast. Would you be down for that, Hefe?
No,
Like,
I'll
let's
be
say
down
after
for
a
that. Yeah.
game, would you be down for a little post game or
Oh,
pre game?
so either one is good for me.
Okay, perfect. We'll line up our schedules, man. Chat,
Mhm.
if y'all want that, let us know. And obviously, get in the chat or get in the comments after the video and tell us y'all picks. I know Sleepy's pick. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna let Sleepy talk about it. He's leaning towards you, Hefe. That's all
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
All
about
right,
that.
that's my man right there.
uh,
Sleepy
it's gonna
knows
be
it.
fun.
Sleepy knows where it's at. That's what he knows.
And you know what? Sleepy's also he's a LeBron hater, so y'all have a lot in common, bro.
Yep.
I will say this: we're excited. I'm hyped up for this NBA Finals. It's not the teams I expected for one, but I think it's going to be huge legacy defining
Well,
because we're going to learn a lot about the big stars. We're going to
yeah.
learn a lot about the smaller stars. Any final words before we let the people go? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Like you said, get into the chat. I want to see who everybody else's picks are. That way we can
Yeah,
kind of compare a little bit. But I don't know. It's going to be an exciting finals to watch for sure. And it's I don't know. I don't know what else to say, man. I'm just excited. It's
me
fun.
too, family. You know what? Maybe we might make some side bets in the background. Maybe
All right.
put a little bit of
Have a money on
change
it.
on it.
All right. All
You
right.
know what I mean? Put a little money on that. You know what I mean? But
Sounds good.
again, we're so thankful for everybody for sliding in, man. Everybody in the chat, everybody participating from Cal to Sleepy, you know what I mean? To everybody else, make sure before we leave, y'all swipe that or get that like button, get the likes up, and then get in the comments after the stream or even during the stream. Let us know who y'all got and why. We gave our analysis, we gave our predictions. It's been Unc Phew Hoops Edition, man. We did it and we did it well, man. Deuces.
Peace.